Let's get talking about school first, and then I'll talk about work. I have a specific thing that I've been doing for work lately that has had pretty good results with people. School is tough because depending on how long they've been out, they may have really fallen behind in their work and their tests that they have to catch up on, and units that they've missed, and projects they have to make up. They're sitting there staring down the barrel of so much overwhelming piled up work that the thought of even trying to go back and tackle that is so anxiety provoking that it actually paralyzes them and prevents them from going back. So the first thing I like to do is try to get as much of that completely wiped off the slate as I can. If you can get that wiped off the slate, and the patient feels like they're walking into something that is going to be a clean slate, they don't have this overwhelming pile, they can just focus on trying to integrate back into school, be around other people, be in the lights, be in the noise, then that takes a huge load off them and they can actually start to do that. But unfortunately, a lot of schools, and if you have school administrators or teachers out there, you have to be able to work with healthcare professionals on this to actually just go, you know what, let's find a way to make that stuff disappear. Let's judge you on the next, part of this unit that we're talking about, not necessarily everything that happened before. I know that some courses you can't do that because things build on each other and you need to have that preliminary stuff. But at the same time, you have to be able to work with your students, because otherwise you're completely paralyzing them and it makes it very difficult for them to come back. Once you can get that, then you can start in the process and you can start slow again. So start in first with just doing work from home, getting assignments delivered that are now learning units, that you're getting caught up, doing extra tutorials with the teacher after hours, that type of thing, to get just used to the learning environment. Then start pushing into, a couple hours a day, couple periods a day, mixing it up with different classes so that you're getting a little bit of different flow. I generally will avoid things like music, obviously gym class, and those types of other, shop class if they're taking that. But I'll get them into the math, the English, the science type of courses, and just keep pushing them back in. So I'll start with either a period or a half day, depending on what I think they can handle. But what I'll do is I actually segment it rather than having them go to a half day every single day. What I'll do is I'll do a half day 3 days per week. This allows them to feel like if they go do a half day on Monday and they feel completely wiped, they get a day off on Tuesday to be at home and rest and recover. Then on Wednesday, same thing. So now it's only every second day they have to go. So let's say 3 days a week, half days. So similar to, doing exercise, you want to get back into running, you're going to go out, run a small amount on day one, but then you're going to take a day off. You're going to have a rest day to let yourself recover from that because you're not in shape yet. And then what I'll do after they're good with half days, I'll do that for 1 to 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, depending on the person and how long they've been out for. Then what I'll do is I'll actually, rather than sprinkle in half days on the other 2 days, I'll go full days, but I'll do the full days 3 days a week. So they still have that break in between, so that they do the Monday and then they get Tuesday off. So even if Monday feels exhausting to you, at least you get to rest on Tuesday. And I'll do that for 2 or 3 weeks to let them get into shape. They're building up their tolerance. Then what I'll do is I'll sprinkle in half days on the Tuesday, Thursday. So now we got Monday full day. So even if Monday's tough, Tuesday at least you only have to do a half day and you can go home at lunch. Or maybe do the afternoon. You can sleep in Tuesday morning and recover that way. So once you sprinkle in those 2 half days, I'll do that for another couple weeks. Then I'll finally get into full days. But this is a way where rather than going just like half days, full days, because even half days, 5 days a week is going to be tough because there's no rest, there's no reprieve from that. And that might be daunting in and of itself. And the person may feel burnt out and overwhelmed. So what you can do is go half days and skip a day to give them a bit of rest in between and gradually build on that to full days on the 3 days. And then once they're good with that, then you sprinkle in half days on the alternating days and then eventually full days altogether. So that's for school. Once they're able to pass treadmill tests and all that stuff, you can now incorporate physical activity into that. That's a whole kind of other nuanced thing.